Welcome everybody to the Poke Battle Network, and we started kicking off our second big event of the championship series for 2024 with the Barcelona special event. Now this tournament is held like a regional where the top one will get 200 points. So the battlers are out here fighting for that 200 points for their trip for Worlds. Now with 128 battlers participating in this wonderful tournament in Barcelona, that means that the top 64 got points, where the 64th place on up would get 50 points. So good luck out there if you got your 50 points on your journey. Now EU, we saw so many battlers we have seen before in the circuit. We got Polisha, Maxi 1 million, Tomahawk XP, Patomon, Andres. I mean, so many battlers showed up, top tier battlers that we saw, and it was an incredible weekend. And I like seeing that they came right after we just saw Pittsburgh, because in my opinion, there is not a better region that I like seeing to counter metas than the EU. And what that means is that we just saw Pittsburgh. So now we are going to see what the people are reacting to for Pittsburgh. And what better region than the EU? People who brought us the Shadow Charizard play, that taught us the Water Gun Lantern play. Like, this is the absolute region we want to be watching, as they are going to show us how to use some Pokemon with different movesets. So let's take a look at the top 10 Pokemon that we saw battling it out this weekend in Barcelona. Alright, let's take a look at the top 10 Pokemon brought to us to the Barcelona special event. Right at the top, you got Medicham sitting at that comfy 73%. It looks like it went up 1% out here than it did in Pittsburgh. Lickitung jumps drastically 20 points percentages and gets up there at 68% of people brought Lickitung now. Lantern still holding strong at a 53%, so a few more battlers than before, but still around 50% are bringing Lantern. About 50% are also bringing Gligar and Registeel. So those are about the top 5 Pokemon that we saw. In Pittsburgh, we had Alolan Sandslash in the top 5, but that has been moved down to the top 10. Didn't make the top 5, but 17% of the battlers brought it. 18% brought Umbreon, and then to round up, you've got the starters. Those cheap Stardust, heavy hitting starters that we have all feared since 2019. Oh my goodness. You know what we don't see still? Carbink. Ranked number 1 on PvPoke, and Carbink is not on here. So looking at the top 10, I mentioned and asked the question, what typing did we all expect to see come popping up here in the next few metas? And as a matter of fact, it did show up. Ice typing was the answer, right? With the Venusaurs, the grass typing, Superiors are popping up here for grass typing. Then you got Gligar, Swamperts, right? That ice typing going to be real strong here. And I figured there'd be more Alolan Sandslashes than before, but never fear, Alolan Sandslash, even though 70% used, what showed up not with Shadow Claw but with Powder Snow. It was incredible to watch. Now we're gonna have a utility Pokemon in the top 10 here, with battlers making us all think, is it a Shadow Claw, which will get you some matchups with Shadow Claw, or is it a Powder Snow, which could get you other matchups? This is going to play huge for team builds down the line. It's going to open up for utility play. Got to love it. Big shout outs to Swampert and Umbreon for making huge comebacks today, this weekend, as they are just sitting so strong and defensive here. I would say they're also staples as well. A lot of battlers love closing out with the Swampert, but the Umbreon feels so good right now to keep coming out and could solve a lot of thick problems or absorbing the energy. But if Lickitung is up at the top, Umbreon might be there to help you out. So that's going to match up. Let's look at the top 8 and what they brought in this. Looking at the Barcelona top 8 here, what did they bring? Most of them have the top 10 on their team. Some of them, though, don't. A lot of them have some that aren't even on the top 10 and are still making it to the top 8 of a 128 tournament. So that's huge. Let's take a gander at some of those, because we got to highlight it. We got to highlight the Dugong here. Let's talk about Dugong for 5 seconds, as the thickness from what Dawes showed us how to really utilize this Dugong and how tanky it is. And with these new Glygars popping up, you see Dugong going off and throwing those drill runs. You know what you don't see a lot of? Glygars on teams. Only 3 teams got the Glygars, so real interesting matchup here. That Glygars went from a ton of teams to not so many teams here in the finals. Seems like all of this ice on 7 out of the 8 teams is here to play, and we're talking about the Dugong. The Frostlass comes in, but let's not all veer. I mentioned it earlier in the top 10. The Powder Snow Alolan Sandslash is definitely a game changer for a lot of people, because it definitely provides that fast move damage on these flyers, on the grass that are coming out now, and can also give you still that charge attack pressure with the drill run still and the ice punch. That is great coverage in this meta. So lot of play here from the ice and changing up what is once meta Pokemon, bringing in that Shadow Claw, that Community Day Shadow Claw, and just using a regular Powder Snow, no Community Day move. Beautifully done, beautifully done. We see that Sableye has come back into play here. Zweilous is bringing the Sableye Lanterns on a couple of teams, and someone brought the Shadow Dragonite. Looks like someone brought with Dodge's team and just said, well, if it worked. Looking at some of the other ones as well, we see a second Superior now. 4 grass Pokemon coming in, but 2 Superiors and 2 Venusaurs. Superior is being talked about as one of the top grass Pokemon right now, because that Aerial Ace gives it the utility against that Medicham and gives you a better matchup, and it's thicker. With the Venusaur trying so hard, Superior seems to be pulling away. We'll have to see, as we're going to talk now about how day 2 played out in the next segment. Day 2 was full of excitement as we kicked off with World Finalist matchup, Zweilous versus Tomahawk, as Zweilous takes that matchup to advance to the winners finals, where he meets Patamon, who advanced as well. Our first goodbyes go to Nopfon and Maxie's, as they are knocked out by Maxie 1 million and Adrian Wildcat, who brought his very first Pokemon that he ever caught, the Charizard, to this tournament. The IVs were not PvP IVs, but he did not care, as though he got knocked out by Tomahawk UK. It did give him 5th place in the tournament as Tomahawk advanced, and so does Maxie 1 million. Tomahawk, though, takes it and goes and sits in the losers finals, where he awaits the loser of the winners finals, Zweilous versus Patamon. Now this matchup went real hard, as Zweilous takes the first one, Patamon the second one, Zweilous comes in on the third one, Patamon squeaks out the 4th one with the Dugong because he finally believed in it, and then comes back and takes the 5th one, switching that and sending Zweilous down to the losers bracket for a rematch with Tomahawk, where he then again goes and advances with a 3-1 to the grand finals to battle Patamon. The only battler to beat him so far in this tournament. Zweilous is got to figure out his game plan as we get into the grand finals, where we start the matchup, and it's Zweilous gets the first matchup. Man, he's good at getting those first matchups. Patamon the second matchup. Patamon the third matchup. It's game point for Patamon, but with the Alolan Sandslash Powder Snow, the mix-ups here, and the Sableye spam, Zweilous takes game 4 and 5, resetting the bracket for a whole new matchup. Now, the game of the reset, the grand finals, it has come down to it. Patamon and Zweilous have been working so hard all day. Zweilous takes game 1, typical. Zweilous takes game 2, oh no. Patamon's on a 4 streak, he's got to break out of it, and he does. Gets the W in game 3, but it's Zweilous that wins it all in game 4.
Well, I think Lickitung going to want to try and fire off a powerful charge attack. It's going to be that Power Whip. That's going to be able to deal with that Sableye.
I think Power Whip is definitely the way to go there, unless he was planning to do a bait move as the body slams are resisted. And look, this Lick's going to be able to get all the way down. Not before he gets another return here, and a little return as a parting gift, and getting a shield back. Padaman says, thank you so much for that charge attack. Let me give you the shield in return.
Yeah, here with the Charizard and click Blast Burn immediately. Do you wait a turn there? Do you want to go for the Medicham that doesn't even have another lot of energy? And this is going to be incredibly difficult. Are there 2 Dragon Claws on the Charizard, or is this only 1 Blast Burn?
It's only 1 Blast Burn. I'm 100% sure of that one. There's also an Aerial Ace, but he needs to farm more energy. And he... Oh! What happened here? He tried to catch and he tried to throw it. The Aerial Ace, everything happened at the same time. But what we see now, the Dragon Claw coming through on the Gligar. And this puts Adrian in such a good spot. He gets another Dragon Claw.
The regular Charizard wins the game again, going for the second Dragon Claw right here.
Yeah, looks like you kind of have to shield this Thunderbolt, otherwise would secure the knockout. And now there's still Registeel. Can Registeel pull this off? It doesn't have any energy, but there's so much energy on this Medicham. And the lock-ons from the Registeel don't add up here.
They certainly don't, and there's another Psychic now coming out from this Medicham. Yes, there's no Protect Shields, and Registeel is going to be able to take this, but just the speed that this Medicham using counter is able to get up to deal damage into this opposing Registeel. There's not a lot of HP remaining, look at that.
This is knockout. If this knocks out, then I think William might win this battle.
Let's have a look. Ice Punch does connect down, and
and it knocks out!
Yeah, Registeel's out of here.
Yeah, counter's coming through. Who gets the counter down? It's the Spark down. What is it? It's the...
Oh, it's so intense! Oh, Medicham reigns victorious. It's not the #1 used Pokemon for
Even the Focus Blast would not knock out from here.
Really? Not even from there? I think there's a lot of chip damage already on the Umbreon after all those licks, body slams, and lock-ons now eventually.
We're about to find out if I'm right or wrong. Let's see. Focus Blast coming in. It is no shield, so we will see. Does it knock out? It does not knock out!
Doesn't even barely miss out on it. That is huge HP. We're going to double foul play now before the Registeel is going to reach another attack.
You actually knock it out here. You know, I actually was doubting my knowledge there for a sec, but phew, I'm still okay here. And let's see what Max is going to do. He can't keep the foul play. Oh, he tried to go into that Lantern there, but barely not successful. And Focus Blast is coming through from this Registeel. Probably tried to...
Same time, Aerial Ace goes in for Polasha. It has to be shielded, but Polasha has another Aerial Ace loaded up. She also has another shield. So if this is a charge attack priority, it looks like she's going to come out on top. Polasha is going to charge up the next Aerial Ace, making this a 2-0 against John Yoa.
This is why Gligar has been such a meta-defining Pokemon at the moment. Look at it getting the 2
foul plays on Zweil's side. This is going to take out the Deoxys defense. And guess what's happening next?
Yes, another foul play for the Dugong
attack priority. Dugong is at 1% HP. The foul play is going to connect. And Zweil's, the German engineer, is going to win this game.
Zweil's is your 2024 special event Barcelona winner. Give it up for Zweil's.
What?
Those were some incredible highlights. Congratulations, Zweilous, on your amazing comeback win in the grand finals. You really showed us that Powder Snow, Alolan Sandslash does have great play just as well as Shadow Claw Sandslash. So it's going to be really interesting to see battlers build teams around that and how that'll play later in the meta. We have a second to take a look at the upcoming tournaments that are going to round out the end of our 2023 year. For the NA, you've got Peoria coming up in October 6th. We've got Sacramento coming up October 13th, Toronto October 27th, and San Antonio December 15th. In EU, we'll see Lily out there October 21st, Amber Expo on November 25th, and back out to Stuttgart on December 9th. Oceania will be bringing us Brisbane on the 25th, so that is 2 tournaments we'll be able to watch that weekend. And then Latinum LAIC is going to be popping off on the 17th, so we're getting the Latinum LAIC already in November of the 2023. So this is the lineup for the 2024 series that ends at the end of December. So get out there for your journeys and good luck, battlers. That's going to wrap it up for the regional roundup. We got to watch the incredible top 10 Pokemon show up as the reaction to Pittsburgh. We saw Zweilous give us an amazing run with incredible 6 Pokemon. And we got to see some fun highlights throughout the weekend. Thank you to the production, the casters, and the TOs for hosting and providing their weekend and doing this amazing tournament. And thank you to Drakovitz for the graphics. Thank you all for watching the Poke Battle Network. Be sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel for more regional roundups, as we're going to be following the Play Pokemon circuit throughout the 2024 season. I'm Sosa Flo, and like always, keep on battling.